Hi guys, we're gonna talk about chords. We got some questions in the Prodigy forum about easy ways to memorize chords, and I want to share something that works pretty well with my students, and hopefully it will work pretty well with you guys too. We're gonna apply it to a C major chord on first position, but it could be applied to any new chord that you play. So we're just gonna assume that you don't know how to play that chord, and I'm gonna show you this exercise that you can apply to anything. Actually, later on we're gonna apply it to the E7 sharp 9, also known as the Hendrix chord. But let's start with C major. So whenever we learn chords, we tend to learn and put some effort on understanding where to place our fingers, obviously. But we usually don't put too much attention on how to get there. What is the order of placement of those fingers? And that really matters, actually, especially when you're memorizing chords. So what we're gonna try to do is that we're gonna try to play this chord, but we're gonna start by the lowest fretting note that we have in that chord, which is the 5th string, 3rd fret, played with the ring finger. That note is C. So we're gonna try to target that note. Take your fingers off the frets and now play that note. Make sure that you have the right angle, that your thumb is in the right place. And now we're gonna take our fingers off and repeat that several times until you feel comfortable that you can find that note right away. The second note that we're gonna fret in that chord is the 2nd fret of the 4th string, E, with the middle finger. And now we're gonna make sure those two notes can sound good together. And if they don't, we're gonna make little adjustments until they sound good. Make sure you have the right angle, that your thumb is anchored in the right position. If not, lower your thumb, things like that, okay? And once that you feel comfortable with those two notes, just take your fingers off and repeat that placement. Repeat that order, I mean. One more time. Until you feel comfortable with those two notes. Then the 3rd note is the 3rd string open. And although I'm not using any fingers to play that note because it's an open string, I'm gonna play it to make sure that this finger is letting it ring properly. And repeat the operation with those 3 notes. So I'm gonna place my ring, middle, open, and repeat that until I feel comfortable with those 3 notes. The last fretted note is the 1st fret on the 2nd string with my index. And once that I have those 4 notes, I'm gonna make sure that they all sound good, make my adjustments, memorize that position, and then fingers off, and one more time. One more time. Always make sure that you follow the same order and that these fingers stay as you go. Finally, the last note is the 1st string open, and if that one sounds good, you are good to go. You can just practice the whole chord like this. Fingers off, and then ring, middle. Cool. Well, you can also use these with more advanced chords. For example, this E7 sharp 9, also known as the Hendrix chord, that we're gonna play on the 7th position. So this is gonna be a little more challenging, but I'm sure if you follow these steps, it will be, not that bad, hopefully. So we need to target the 1st note, and the 1st note is the 7th fret on the 5th string played with a middle finger. So 7th fret right here of the 5th string with our middle finger right there. So I need to target that note and then memorize where it is, memorize the position, fingers off, and go back to that note. Then one more time. And I will repeat this until I feel really comfortable just with the 1st note, because the 1st note is key. It's gonna give you the right position for everything else. So the next note that we're gonna play is index finger on the 6th fret, 4th string, Make sure that those two notes sound good together. And then once that you feel really comfortable with those two, same thing. Fingers off. And again. Repeat it until you feel really comfortable with those two. Then add the next one, which is the ring finger on the 7th fret, 3rd string. Those three notes together sound like this. And fingers off, one more time. And add your pinky on the 8th fret, 2nd string. And that's the whole chord. Again, if any of those notes don't sound good, try to make adjustments on your thumb and the angle that you have, the space between your palm and the fretboard until you get that. And then if everything goes fine and all those notes sound good, fingers off and memorize how to get there. One more time. I mean, I'm going pretty fast, but I hope you guys get it. First time that I played this chord, it was more like, you know, like that fast, right? But you know that the more and more that you practice that, the quicker that you start getting those fingers to the right place. So once you have those 4 together, you can add the 1st string open and the 6th string open, and you got it. Cool. Well, I hope this was helpful for you, and don't hesitate to contact us on rackprodigy.com/forum. Also, you can contact us through our Facebook page or here through YouTube. And stay in tune and keep having fun playing guitar, because guitar is pretty awesome.